Welcome back to the Deep Dive, where we help you get smarter quicker by diving deep into some seriously fascinating books.
Yeah.
Today we are tackling Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life, an Antidote to Chaos. This book has got a lot to unpack.
It does.
Yeah, so we've made it easy for you.
We try.
You'll find links to in-depth study notes.
Yes.
And the audiobook itself down in the episode description.
Yep.
Go ahead and check those out for even more insights. And if you're finding this deep dive helpful, don't forget to hit that like button.
Yes.
And share it with your friends. Let's spread the knowledge.
Spread the love.
So Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, Peterson himself is an interesting starting point, I think.
Okay.
He's not just some self-help guru.
Right.
He's a clinical psychologist, a professor, and a YouTube personality.
Yeah.
Who's known for, well, stirring things up a bit.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't shy away from a good debate.
No.
But that's what makes his work so intriguing.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. You know, he's really trying to grapple with these big questions about how to live a meaningful life.
Yeah.
In a world that often feels very chaotic.
Right.
And one of the core ideas that runs throughout the book is this tension between chaos and order.
It's fascinating, isn't it? He doesn't present them as opposites.
Right.
But as two sides of the same coin.
Okay.
Like yin and yang.
Yeah.
He argues that we need both.
Okay.
Chaos in order to thrive.
Right. And this is where he brings in that super interesting and maybe slightly unexpected analogy of the lobster.
Ah, yes, the lobster.
Our lobsters.
It might seem strange at first, but lobsters and humans actually share similar brain structures.
Wow.
Particularly those related to social hierarchies.
Okay.
And what's fascinating is that studies have shown that lobsters who lose fights, and thus their social standing, experience a decrease in serotonin levels. And as we know, low serotonin is linked to feelings of depression and anxiety.
So even lobsters get the blues when they're feeling low on the social ladder.
Yes.
But what does this have to do with us?
Yeah.
And with Peterson's 12 rules?
Well, this ties directly into his first rule, which is stand up straight with your shoulders back. We often think of good posture as being about confidence.
Sure.
But Peterson takes it a step further.
Okay.
He argues that posture is not just about appearances.
Right.
It's about sending a signal, both to ourselves and to others, about our place in the world.
Okay.
Just like with lobsters, our posture can impact our brain chemistry.
Wow.
And influence how we feel and how we're perceived by those around us.
It's like our bodies are actually communicating a message even before we open our mouths.
Yes.
And if you're slouching, we're basically sending a signal of defeat.
Exactly.
Even if we don't consciously mean to.
Right. And this leads perfectly into a second rule, right?
Which is to treat yourself like someone you are responsible for helping. This is about self-care.
Okay.
But not in the typical pampering sense. Yeah. It's about recognizing your own worth.
Okay.
And treating yourself with the same care and compassion that you would extend to someone you love and respect.
That's a really powerful idea.
It is, yeah.
Because let's be honest.
Yeah.
Many of us,
I agree,
especially those of us who are driven to learn and grow, can be pretty hard on ourselves.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, we push ourselves to achieve, to be better, to do more.
Yeah.
And sometimes we forget to extend that same kindness and compassion inward.
It's so true. And Peterson is reminding us that we deserve that chair.
Yeah.
That we are worthy of being treated with respect.
Right.
Even by ourselves.
Okay, so we've got posture and self-care. What's next on Peterson's list for a more meaningful life?
Rule number 3 is all about surrounding yourself with the right people.
Peterson says to make friends with people who want the best for you. This might sound obvious.
Sure.
But it's so important because the people we spend time with have a huge impact on our lives.
Yeah.
Think about it. Do the people you spend the most time with lift you up and encourage you to grow? Or do they bring you down and hold you back?
Yeah, I've definitely had both kinds of friends in my life.
I think we all have.
And the difference is night and day.
It is, yeah.
But it can be tough to recognize those patterns when you're in the thick of it.
Absolutely. And that's why this rule is so valuable. It's a reminder to be mindful of the company we keep and to make a conscious effort to surround ourselves with people who support our goals and inspire us to be our best selves. What do you think? Have you ever had an experience where the people around you either helped or hindered your growth? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below.
Great question. And it leads perfectly into rule #4, which is all about how we measure our progress. Peterson says, compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today.
This is such a crucial point, especially in today's hyper-connected world where we're constantly bombarded with images of other people's seemingly perfect lives.
Right.
It's so easy to fall into the trap of comparing ourselves to others and feeling inadequate.
Yeah.
But Peterson reminds us that the only comparison that truly matters is the comparison to our own past selves. Are we growing? Are we learning? Are we moving in the direction we want to go?
It's about focusing on our own journey, not on trying to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak.
Exactly. And to help us with this process of self-evaluation, Peterson introduces this really helpful metaphor of the psychological house.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about this psychological house.
He asks us to imagine our lives as a house.
Okay.
With different rooms representing different areas of our lives: work, relationships, health, personal growth, and so on. And he suggests that we need to take stock of our house to see which rooms are in order.
Right.
And which ones need some attention.
So it's like doing a spring cleaning for our lives.
Exactly. And this ties in directly to rule #6, which is set your house in perfect order before you criticize the world. It's about taking responsibility for our own lives, for making sure our own internal world is in order before we go trying to fix the external world.
I love that. It's about focusing on what we can control.
Yeah.
On being the change we want to see in the world.
It's about recognizing that real change starts from within. You know, we can't expect to create a better world if we haven't done the work to create a better version of ourselves.
It's like that Gandhi quote, be the change you wish to see in the world.
Right.
But it can be easy to get caught up in the big picture.
Yeah.
And forget about the small, everyday actions that contribute to our overall well-being.
Absolutely. And this brings us to rule #7, which might be one of the most powerful and challenging rules in the entire book.
All right.
Peterson says, pursue what is meaningful, not what is expedient. In other words, don't just chase after what's easy or pleasurable in the moment.
Right.
Focus on what truly matters in the long run.
Yeah. So it's about choosing the path of meaning, even when it's hard. Even when it requires sacrifice.
Yes.
It's about delaying gratification for a greater purpose.
Precisely. And this can be a difficult concept to grasp because we live in a world that's obsessed with instant gratification.
Right.
We want everything now and we want it easy.
Totally.
But Peterson is reminding us that true fulfillment comes from striving for something greater than ourselves.
Okay.
From pursuing goals that align with our values and give our lives purpose.
He uses a really beautiful analogy to illustrate this point.
Oh, yes.
The lotus flower.
Yes. The lotus flower begins its life at the bottom of a muddy lake.
Right.
But slowly and steadily it grows, pushing its way through the muck and grime until it finally emerges into the sunlight, blossoming into a beautiful flower.
That's a powerful image.
It is.
And it makes me think about how we often avoid challenges or give up too easily because we're afraid of the discomfort, the struggle.
Yeah.
But maybe that struggle is exactly what we need to grow and evolve.
I think Peterson would agree with you there. He believes that facing our fears and embracing challenges is essential for personal growth.
Yeah.
And that brings us to rule #8, which is tell the truth, or at least don't lie.
Honesty.
Right.
It seems like a simple enough concept.
Yeah.
But Peterson goes much deeper than just telling the truth to others.
Right. He argues that honesty begins with being truthful to ourselves.
Okay.
He talks about this idea of internal division, which is that feeling of dissonance we experience when our actions don't align with our values, when we know we're not being true to ourselves.
So it's like we're living a lie even if no one else knows about it. And that creates this inner turmoil, this sense of being out of alignment with ourselves.
Exactly. And that inner turmoil can manifest in all sorts of ways. Anxiety, depression, self-sabotage, even physical illness.
Wow.
Peterson is suggesting that by being honest with ourselves, by acknowledging our flaws and imperfections, we can start to heal that internal division and create a more integrated sense of self.
This idea of integration is really interesting. It's like we're bringing all the different parts of ourselves into harmony, creating a more unified and whole being.
And that sense of wholeness is essential for living a meaningful life.
Yeah.
It allows us to show up in the world with authenticity and integrity, to build genuine connections with others, and to pursue our goals with passion and purpose.
So honesty, both with ourselves and with others, is really the foundation for everything else.
I think Peterson would argue that it's the cornerstone of a meaningful life.
Okay, so we've covered honesty. What's next on Peterson's list?
Rule #9 is all about the power of listening. Peterson says to assume that the person you are listening to might know something you don't. It's a simple statement,
Right.
but it has profound implications for how we approach conversations and relationships.
It's like he's encouraging us to approach every interaction with a sense of curiosity and humility. To be open to the possibility that we might learn something new, even from someone we think we know everything about.
And this is especially important in today's world, where we're often so quick to judge, to dismiss, to shut down opposing viewpoints.
Yes.
Peterson is reminding us that everyone has something valuable to offer.
Okay.
That even the most seemingly insignificant person might hold a piece of wisdom that could change our lives.
It makes me think about all the times I've been so focused on getting my own point across that I've completely missed what the other person was trying to tell me.
We've all been there.
For sure.
But Peterson is encouraging us to shift our perspective to see listening as a form of knowledge.
Okay.
As a way to expand our understanding of the world.
He even connects this idea to Socrates, the ancient Greek philosopher.
Yes. He talks about how the Delphic oracle declared Socrates the wisest man alive because Socrates knew that what he knew was nothing.
Wow.
It's about embracing that we always have more to learn, that there's always room for growth and expansion.
That's a powerful reminder. So we've got honesty and listening. Yeah. What else is on Peterson's list for a more meaningful life?
Rule #10 is about clarity and precision.
Okay.
Particularly in our speech.
All right. Peterson argues that being precise in our language helps us to think more clearly, to set clearer goals, and to communicate more effectively.
So it's about cutting through the fluff and getting to the heart of the matter.
Exactly. It's about being intentional with our words, choosing them carefully to convey our meaning with accuracy and power.
Yeah.
And this has implications not just for how we speak, but also for how we think and how we act.
I love that. It's like, no more wishy-washy goals or vague intentions. Time to get specific and make things happen.
Precisely. And you know what's interesting is that Peterson connects this rule to the idea of confronting our fears.
Okay.
He argues that when we're vague and imprecise in our language, it's often because we're avoiding something. We're afraid to face the truth.
That's a really powerful insight. It's like, by being clear and specific, we're forcing ourselves to confront reality.
Yes.
To take ownership of our choices and our actions. Exactly. It's about stepping out of the shadows of ambiguity and into the light of truth. And that can be a scary proposition, but it's also incredibly liberating.
Okay, I'm starting to see how all these rules are interconnected.
Yeah.
How they build upon each other to create this framework for living a more intentional and meaningful life.
Absolutely. They're like pieces of a puzzle that fit together to reveal a bigger picture.
Okay, we're on a roll. What's rule #11 all about?
This one is a bit more provocative.
Okay.
And it sparked a lot of debate. It's the rule about not bothering children when they are skateboarding.
Okay.
But it's really a metaphor for something much deeper.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Peterson is arguing that we shouldn't try to shield children from all risk and danger, that we should allow them to explore their limits and learn from their mistakes.
Okay.
He believes that by overprotecting our kids, we're actually doing them a disservice, making them less resilient and less capable of navigating the challenges of adulthood.
That makes sense. It's like you can't learn to ride a bike if you're always afraid of falling.
Exactly. And this rule also touches on some of Peterson's views on gender roles and equality.
Okay.
He believes that men and women are inherently different and that these differences should be acknowledged and respected.
Right.
He cautions against trying to erase these differences in the name of equality, arguing that this can lead to unintended consequences.
That's a really interesting point, and one that's definitely sparked a lot of conversation and debate. It challenges us to think critically about what true equality means and how to achieve it.
It does, and it's a great example of how Peterson's work encourages us to grapple with complex issues, to challenge our own assumptions, and to engage in thoughtful dialogue even when it's uncomfortable.
Absolutely. Okay, we've covered 11 rules. What's the grand finale?
Peterson ends on a surprisingly simple and yet profound note with rule #12.
Right.
Pet a cat when you encounter one on the street.
Wait, seriously? Is that really a rule for life?
It might sound whimsical, but it's actually a reminder to pay attention to the small joys in life.
Okay.
To notice the beauty that surrounds us, even in the midst of chaos. It's about cultivating a sense of gratitude and appreciation for the simple things that often go unnoticed.
I love that. It's like a little dose of mindfulness.
Yeah.
A reminder to be present in the moment and to appreciate the little things that bring us joy.
And you know what's fascinating? Studies have shown that interacting with animals can actually lower our stress levels and improve our overall well-being.
So petting a cat isn't just a nice thing to do.
Right.
It's actually good for our health. I'm sold.
Peterson's 12 rules offer a roadmap for navigating the complexities of life with intention and purpose. And even though we've reached the end of our deep dive into his book, our journey with these ideas is just beginning.
It's true. These rules aren't meant to be followed blindly, but rather to be contemplated, wrestled with, and integrated into our lives in a way that makes sense for each of us.
And remember, we have those study notes and a link to the audiobook waiting for you in the episode description.
Yeah, be sure to check those out.
Go check them out to dive even deeper into these concepts.
And if you enjoyed this episode, we'd love for you to share it with your friends.
Yes.
Hit that like button and spread the knowledge.
Spread the love.
Let's help each other get smarter quicker.
Until next time, fellow knowledge seekers, keep diving deep, keep learning.
And keep those shoulders back.
And don't forget to pet a cat when you see one.